In Chapter 14, we will learn about marketing channels and intermediaries. 3 learning objectives in this chapter. First, let's understand what is a marketing channel intermediary and what functions and activities they perform. Second learning objective is to understand the common channel structures and how do producers decide or what factors influence that choice. And then the third is to understand the channel relationship types and roles. So let's begin with what is a marketing channel. And with this topic, we're starting the last of the 4 P's, which is on distribution. So marketing channels are a set of interdependent organizations that allow a company that produces a product to transfer the ownership from the producer to either the business user or the end consumer. So, one great example is a retailer like Walmart that allows companies such as Procter & Gamble, Unilever, or Coca-Cola to distribute their product from the producers to the end consumer. So let's take a look at how Walmart's distribution or how Walmart collaborates with some of its intermediaries. So as you can see in this visual, here are 2 manufacturers that use Walmart as a channel intermediaries. And so they ship their products into the distribution center of Walmart, which then further distributes the product from its distribution center or warehouse to the individual retail stores. There are 3 predominantly popular channel intermediaries when it comes to B2C marketing: retailers, wholesalers, and agents and brokers. So retailers are intermediaries that transact directly with the end consumer. Wholesalers are more B2B and don't enter into exchanges with end consumers. Agents and brokers are more like individuals or entities that bring two producers together or 2 intermediaries together. The only difference between an agent and retailer and wholesalers is that they don't take title to goods, which means they don't pay or take ownership of the products. So marketing channels members perform 3 very important functions for companies: specialization and division of labor, overcoming discrepancies, and providing contact efficiency. So let's examine each one. The first one is specialization and division of labor. And so by using a channel intermediary, the producer can get the product from its warehouse or from its manufacturing plant at a low cost and much greater efficiency, utilizing the economies of scale that a channel intermediary has or owns. So for example, Hershey Products, as you can see here, instead of directly distributing its products to each and every consumer, uses a retailer such as Target to provide that economies of scale, greater efficiency, and low-cost distribution to its end consumer. The second very important function that channel intermediaries perform for producers is called overcoming discrepancies. So there are 4 types of discrepancy. The first one is discrepancy of quantity, which means there's always a difference between the amount that is produced by the company and the amount an end user wants to buy. And so a retailer helps bridge that discrepancy. The second one is discrepancy of assortment. And so, for example, if an individual consumer wants to prepare a meal and there are 5 or 6 ingredients that need to be purchased in order to prepare that final meal, a retailer or an intermediary helps bridge that discrepancy of assortment. The third one is temporal or time discrepancy, which means that a manufacturer might be producing the product year-round, but certain products are only used on certain times of the year, and therefore wholesalers and retailers help bridge that gap. The last one is spatial discrepancy, which means that retailers or other channel intermediaries help bridge the gap the geographical distance between where the producer is located and where the consumer is. So for example, if I would like to purchase a Ford car, I don't have to drive to Detroit to purchase that car, and I can actually go to my local Ford dealership in order to purchase that car. The third important function is contact efficiency. And so if you look at the top scenario here, there are 4 manufacturers and 4 individual consumers. This, without a channel intermediary, in this scenario, there are 16 transactions. Each producer has to transact 4 different times to reach each one of the 4 consumers. In the bottom scenario, there is one channel intermediary, Best Buy, and so see how Best Buy then reduces or makes the transaction cost much more efficient by reducing a total of 16 transactions from the top scenario to a total of only 8 transactions in the bottom scenario. Next, let's look at the 4 common channel structures, and each one of here should really be relatable to you at this point. A direct channel is where the company sells its products directly to the end consumer. So if you go to a factory store, such as in a local outlet mall, or if you go to the Apple store, that's an example of a direct channel. A retailer channel is where the producer shifts or sells its products to a retailer who then transacts with the consumer, and so on. Channel strategy decision, which means whether the company is going to use a retailer channel, wholesaler channel, agent broker, or all, are influenced by a variety of different factors. So there are factors that affect channel choice here on the left-hand side, and then the second driving force is the desired level of distribution intensity. So the market factors play a key role. So for example, when Starbucks wanted to decide that it would like to market or distribute its bottled beverage, it relied on the distribution structure of Kraft, which is a different company, to package, bottle, and distribute its product into the local outlet stores or local retailers instead of trying to do it itself. Another great example is that of Tesla. So, all Tesla stores are company owned and operated. Neither one of them is a franchise and so this, shows in part of the market-driven force that has led Tesla to take ownership of its distribution channel. The second factor that has an impact on the choice has to do with the level of distribution intensity. So if you take a product such as a convenience product, such as a potato chip, it's available at every nook and corner, definitely an intensive distribution. Selective is more where products are only available in certain, selected outlets, so shopping products generally fall into this category. The third desired level of distribution intensity is exclusive, and so a great example would be a specialty product such as Rolex watches that are only available at certain retail stores. The last part of this topic on channel intermediaries or marketing channels is to look at the relationship. So since there is so much of this interaction that goes on between channel intermediaries themselves and between companies and channel members, a lot of sort of human relationship issues also emerge in this situation. So we face issues of channel power, channel control, where one intermediary tries to control the other one, channel leadership, where one becomes sort of the proclaimed leader, a lot of conflict, and then this about partnership. So, one great example of channel relationships is that of between Nike and Foot Locker. Now, Foot Locker is a retailer, Nike is a manufacturer. Generally speaking, manufacturers bear a lot of power and control over their channel setups or their marketing channels. But interestingly, because of the power or how widespread Foot Locker's distribution is, there is a very interesting set of dynamic where Foot Locker can also exert a lot of power over Nike's agreements and alliance with itself. Another great example between Walmart and Procter & Gamble. A lot of collaboration, partnership between these two intermediaries. The last part about this relationship issue has to do with channel conflict. And so a lot of times there is a lot of sort of clash that happens between channel members. Horizontal conflict is where channel members on the same level are in conflict with each other. So two retailers in conflict with each other. And that's actually somewhat beneficial to the consumer because it leads to a lot of sort of healthy competition. Vertical conflict is more serious where two different channel members at different levels are in conflict with each other. So a manufacturer is in conflict with the retailer, and this creates a more serious situation because it blocks the distribution of product from the producer to the end consumer. And so that's all there is in this topic. Thank you so much.